Happiness. My name is Tam, joined by my lovely co-host, Erin Tam.
Hey.
I got some shoulder action on that one for you. Did you like it?
I like how you always say my last name and I never say yours. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
we do have very different intros,
it's all good.
I think.
Go ahead.
Not very different. Similar. Same, but different. So today, which is perfect, that we're talking about friendships.
Yes.
And how hobbies play a really key role in social connections and just building friendships long term, right? Like we always talk about, right before we started recording this episode, you and I were just talking about how, even as my best friend, I'm probably only going to call you to have you come visit me if I actually have a reason for us to do something.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like our friendship is really one that stems from like, hey, just come sit on my couch and hang out with me.
Yeah, and maybe that's just us, and I don't know what all friendships are like, but yeah, I've never been, and maybe that's just my personality too. I've never been one to like drop in on somebody and be like, hey, let's just watch some TV together. I don't know, have you? Do you have any friendships like that?
I feel like when I was a kid, I feel like that was more me, you know? Like I always think about like 90s kids, like we used to just, ride our bikes to a person's house and just be like, you home?
Definitely.
Can you come out? Let's play, right?
Same.
But then as we became like adults, that model changed, probably because, we became moms and business women, and we were, hustle culture, right? We don't have time to just show up at somebody's house and
it's different,
relax.
like, if we live next to each other, it'd probably be different too, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Which I fully blame you for, because...
Maybe someday.
I keep trying to get you to live next to me. You refuse.
But yes, back to, like, so, I mean, I think we were talking about how most of the time, and I would say not just between us, like just friends in general, because we're so busy, it seems like it's so much easier to get people to come together and commit to things when there's like an actual like reason, quote reason, like an activity that's happening. Somebody's birthday, somebody's getting married, of course. Like we just had a recent, like you came over to my house and we did mahjong like for 4 hours, where I probably wouldn't be like, Tam, do you want to just come over and just hang out for 4 hours? Like, I don't know. Or,
by the way, that's on the table now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that we're like talking about this, I'm
What's,
like, you know what? I feel like we need to do a little self-reflection on our friendship.
I know.
A little bit.
And maybe that just, there's a whole probably things we could break down about that, but or we get together to do our podcast recording, and we do that. So, and part of it's probably just time and we're busy, and so we don't have time to just like sit around, or we don't feel like we do.
Right. Well, and even in back before we started this podcast, sitting on a couch with a friend probably would have felt like a waste of time, right? Like we would have been like, I don't have time to sit here with you. Like, where's the value in this? Like, I don't care about your feelings that much, Erin.
But I do think like it shows how like all consuming, or I don't know, like how pervasive hobbies are in our culture, and how like they do bring people together and really can strengthen friendships. They we can share common interests, and that builds your friendship and your bond, right? And so I think that, I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I think what you're saying is great, because I mean, I feel like there's two layers to this, because on the one hand, you can talk about how established friendships, right? How established friendships can help, the hobbies can help in that arena by giving us that purpose, right? Like this podcast was our first hobby that we shared together that gave us this purpose to regularly see each other. Because before then, I think I know we're laughing about it, but we really do like enjoy each other's company and really want to be around each other. But we were just in such a fog of parenting and being a wife and working, and we saw time away is almost kind of like wasted time from the family, right? And like we didn't deserve that. And then we did this podcast and we scheduled that time, and we're proof in the pudding of showing how important that is to make sure that you have that, right?
Yep.
So then you flip to the folks who maybe don't have the friendships that are looking for friendships, right? Hobbies are a great, like, low barrier to entry way of finding something in common with somebody before you even meet them.
That's true.
To kind of start bonding with them, right? Like, think about like just, one day you wake up and you want to do mahjong, right? So you're going to call up Allie, who is in St. Louis, and you're going to be like, this chick, I'm following her on Instagram, and she has this amazing mahjong class that she does at this coffee shop. I'd kind of like to learn mahjong. I'd kind of like to meet some people. I'm just going to sign up for that, right?
Yeah. And it's, that's such a great point, because then when you go, and even if you're nervous to meet new people, or you're not sure what to talk about, or you feel uncomfortable with that, like, you can just talk about mahjong. You don't even have to talk about your personal life and get too deep right away, right? And then you might meet some really cool people.
Hobbies, I'm just sitting here thinking, hobbies are almost kind of like, you almost have like a relationship with hobbies too. And in this sense, you are using the hobby, right?
Yeah.
Because I hope I'm just explaining what I want to say correctly here. So like, you don't necessarily have a hobby, but you're using the word hobby to your advantage to find a way to meet new people, to build a commonality, and then, grow from there, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you don't necessarily have to use the hobby to make like deep friendships. Like it doesn't have to be something where it's like, this is my forever friend and we're soul sisters.
Yeah, just having some social connection can really help you like mentally. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like there are some people who I kind of do like having kind of like a higher superficial level of friendship with, you know, because I feel like then I can almost I can kind of use that friendship to just like jump in when I'm just feeling my most spontaneous self and don't really want to talk about anything that's going on. I don't really want to get deep about anything, right?
Sure.
And I don't have to worry about it ever getting to that level, right? It's like a different kind of environment.
Sure.
And so I feel
and I think too, just being around other people in general. I know not everybody, I guess, but I think that it can just make you feel better or just help you feel some connection with like what you're saying, not getting too deep. Because I do think that, with social media and we're all so busy, like we do have kind of like we're all probably a little bit lonely, right? Or we get stuck in our own little worlds, our own little bubbles. And it's nice to just be able to actually be physically and with somebody else, not just on our phones.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because we always talk about parallel play as in the mom to kid realm.
Yep.
But you can also put it in the friend realm.
Yeah.
Like, we could parallel play, together as adults.
Yeah.
Right. Like you could, we should.
Such a great way to connect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even think it necessarily needs to be like right now, like us doing this podcast, I wouldn't necessarily consider us parallel playing right now. But I feel like if you were like doing your puzzle and, and I was, I don't know, revisiting Duolingo for my French lessons, like I feel like I could, count that as that arena. And I think that's something that still counts as
definitely
connecting with somebody and, getting to share some common interest because hobbies across the board are a common interest.
Yeah. And I think, we started looking into too, I think many people have probably heard the science behind the more connected you are with people, like there's a huge like correlation between that and like how long you're going to live.
Oh yeah.
Like longevity. And so it's another reason to, prioritize hobbies and being connected with people, whether it's like on a more superficial level or a close relationship.
Yeah. Building that sense of community and feeling the feeling of feeling accepted, I think is a really big important.
Yeah,
or seen.
Definitely.
Yes. I feel like that's really important. And I feel like that's something that folks really do gain out of connecting through hobbies.
Yeah.
And
in like a low stress environment too, where people are having fun.
Oh yeah.
You don't get that a lot. Like I think in work always, or I don't know. I just think like we spend so much time with like our work people, and like it's not necessarily always like low stress, like easygoing. And we need more of that in our lives.
Absolutely agree. No, and so I fully support. I think we should keep pushing that methodology of, embrace those hobbies. Use, if you're trying to figure out like, how do I make friends? I don't even know who even am I right now?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know who I am at this point in my life. Try to look at like your local library or, look at, local like platforms that show any classes that are available and just pick one that looks interesting and you go by yourself and be open-minded to meeting people. And then remember that it doesn't always have to mean like this deep thing. It could just be just a very like superficial, this feels good on a Wednesday night kind of thing. And that alone it gives you something to wake up for. It gives you something to be excited about. Yeah. And it keeps you going. It
does. And you don't know where it might lead. It might spark some other interests or truly a new like friendship like that leads to more. Yeah.
Truly. Well done, Erin.
Thanks. It was good. Yeah, for sure. We can definitely we're a testament that hobbies can help improve your well-being overall. So
absolutely, fully support.
Try them out.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today on The Art of Happiness. My name is Tam. That's Erin.
Bye. Thank you for listening to The Art of Happiness. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review. And for more Erin and Tam fun, be sure to follow us on all socials for behind-the-scenes footage on our journey to find happiness.